part two of personal injury terms. The first one is pain and suffering, right? So I think we all know what pain and suffering is really, right? What is pain and suffering? So I have damages. I went to the physician, I got an MRI, I was treated, I went through physical therapy. Those are your economic damages. Those are the money that was spent for your recovery, okay? But again, you're not spending this money out of pocket. If you use me as a personal injury attorney, we will refer you to places if needed. Sometimes people can certainly use your own insurance as well if you can get treated that way. These are economic damages. Pain and suffering refers to the other stuff like, oh, well, I couldn't sleep at work. I had to take more breaks, or they had to assign me different duties at work, right? Then you got lost wages. That's not pain and suffering, but because that's economic. Remember, if you can put an actual dollar figure as to exactly what it was, and then it's not pain and suffering. Pain and suffering refers to non-economic damages, right? What is my suffering worth, okay? And, oftentimes there are experts that can be brought in that can validate these things. How high can you raise your arm? Oh, you can't do this at work. Oh, you didn't sleep last night. All these things, you're suffering anxiety. And so this is your pain and suffering, right? And so you'll have the doctor bill, but then you'll also have testimony from yourself and the doctor to go over, how much is your pain and suffering worth. Another term that we can have here in this part two is litigation, right? And so oftentimes people think, well, I have a case, I've got an attorney, I got a case, I'm in litigation, there's a lawsuit. But there's not always a lawsuit. You don't file a lawsuit in every single case. You try to settle it. You build it up, try to settle it, get your treatment, investigation first, then treatment, build up the case, and then it can be settled most times with no lawsuit. So there's pre-litigation means no lawsuit. Litigation means you're in an active lawsuit, okay? That brings us to the final term, which is statute of limitations. You want to file your lawsuit to get in litigation before the statute of limitations is up, which for most cases in Texas, we're talking about 2 years from the date of the accident. Oftentimes, the lawsuit has to get filed, obviously, if it doesn't get settled after a year, because, you've got to get it moving along.